Imagine for a second that you are sitting perfectly still in a dense, humid rainforest. It is pitch black, the kind of darkness where a human being would be effectively blind. But you aren't human right now. You are a frog. And in this darkness, why? Our world is not black. It is a vibrant landscape of shadows and movement. You can see nearly 360 degrees around your body without moving your head a single inch. You can detect the color of a leaf in the middle of the night. But here is the strangest part of your existence. When you finally catch a cricket and put it in your mouth, you can't swallow it. Not until you close your eyes and pull them down inside your own skull. Today, we are going to take a journey into one of the most specialized and bizarre pieces of biological engineering on the planet. We are looking at the anatomy of the frog's eye. Most of us think of eyes as just cameras, passive devices that let light in so the brain can make a picture. But a frog's eye is so much more than a camera. It is a multi-tool, a shield, and a motion detector all wrapped into one. To understand why this organ is so unique, we have to start with where it sits. If you look at a human skull, our eye sockets are sunken deep into the face, protected by a heavy brow bone. We sacrifice our field of view for protection. A frog does the exact opposite. Their eyes bulge outward, sitting on the very top of the head like two periscopes. This placement is not an accident. It is an evolutionary masterstroke. Because the eyes are the highest point on the frog's body, they can submerge themselves almost entirely underwater while keeping watch. They can bury themselves in mud, leaving only these golden orbs exposed. And because of the curvature of the lens and the placement on the sides of the head, their field of view is overlapping. They can see in front, to the sides, and partially behind them simultaneously. However, having your eyes exposed like this comes with a massive risk. They are vulnerable to scratches, debris, and drying out in the air. This brings us to the first major piece of anatomical machinery, the eyelids. You might think you know how eyelids work because you have them, but a frog has a system that is far more complex than yours. We have an upper and lower lid, and when we blink, we shut out the world. Frogs have this too, but the lower lid is more mobile than the upper one. But tucked underneath those standard lids is a piece of technology called the nictitating membrane. Think of this as a built-in pair of safety goggles. This is a third semi-transparent eyelid that can sweep across the eye from the bottom up. It is incredibly fast, and it serves multiple purposes. When a frog dives underwater, it doesn't just close its eyes and swim blind. It flicks up this membrane. This protects the sensitive cornea from debris and water pressure. But because it is clear, the frog can still see through it. It's like having a windshield wiper that also acts as a windshield. On land, this membrane keeps the eye moist without blocking vision entirely. If you have ever watched a frog closely, you might have seen a quick cloudy flash over its eye. That was the membrane doing its job. Now let's go deeper, past the eyelids and into the eyeball itself. The primary job of any eye is to focus light, and this is where frogs differ radically from humans. When you look at your phone and then look at a mountain in the distance, your eye changes focus. Inside your eye, you have a flexible lens. Tiny muscles pull on that lens to change its shape, making it fatter or thinner to bend light differently. This is called accommodation by deformation. Frogs, however, took a different engineering route. Their lens is almost rock hard. It doesn't squish or change shape easily. So how do they focus? They use a mechanism that is remarkably similar to an old-school camera lens. Instead of changing the shape of the lens, they move the entire lens back and forth. Special muscles attached to the lens pull it toward the retina or push it away to find focus. It is a mechanical solution to an optical problem. But there is a catch to this system. Because the lens is designed to work in air, frogs are often nearsighted when they are on land. They are great at spotting a fly buzzing 3 inches from their nose, but a hawk a mile away is just a blur. Interestingly, when they go underwater, the optical properties of the water cancel out the curvature of their cornea. This actually makes them farsighted underwater. So, a frog is constantly navigating a world where its visual acuity flips, depending on whether it is wet or dry. But the real magic of the frog's eye isn't the lens, it's the retina. The retina is the screen at the back of the eye where the image is projected. In humans, the retina sends raw data to the brain, and the brain does all the heavy lifting to figure out what it is looking at. Our brains are supercomputers that process the image. The frog, however, has a brain the size of a peanut. It doesn't have the processing power to analyze a complex 4K image of a forest. So, the eye does the thinking for it. This is one of the most fascinating discoveries in neurobiology. The frog's retina has specialized cells that act as bug detectors. These cells are wired to ignore everything that isn't important. If a rock is sitting in front of a frog, the frog's eye barely registers it. The frog's brain doesn't care about stationary objects. But the moment a small, dark object enters the field of view and moves in a jerky, erratic pattern, the retina lights up. It sends a direct signal to the brain that says, food. This is why you can put a dead fly in front of a frog and it will starve to death. If the fly doesn't move, the frog literally does not recognize it as food. Its reality is defined by motion. This efficiency allows the frog to react with lightning speed. It doesn't have to think, is that a fly? Should I eat it? The eye has already made the decision before the brain even gets involved. Now let's talk about what happens when the sun goes down. Frogs are largely nocturnal, which means they need to operate in low light. Inside the retina, there are 2 types of photoreceptor cells, rods and cones. Cones are for color, and rods are for light sensitivity. In humans, our rods are colorblind, which is why the world looks black and white at night. Frogs, however, have a unique adaptation. They have rods that are sensitive to different wavelengths of light, specifically green and blue. Recent research suggests that this allows frogs to discriminate colors even in conditions that seem pitch black to us. They are navigating a technicolor world while we are stumbling around in the dark. To boost this night vision even further, many frogs possess a structure called the tapetum lucidum. If you have ever shined a flashlight at a frog in the backyard and seen its eyes glow back at you, you have seen this layer in action. It is a mirror-like tissue capable of reflecting light located behind the retina. When light enters the eye, it passes through the retina. If the retina misses a photon, it hits the tapetum lucidum, which bounces it back through the retina for a second chance. This effectively doubles the amount of light the eye can capture. It is a natural night vision amplifier, but we have saved the most bizarre and, frankly, the most disturbing function of the frog's eye for last. We need to talk about swallowing. This is the feature that truly separates frogs from almost every other vertebrate. The roof of a frog's mouth is soft and separates the mouth from the eye sockets. There is no bone underneath the eyeball to keep it in place. When a frog catches a large insect, its tongue pulls the prey into its mouth. But frogs don't have the throat muscles to force that food down the esophagus effectively. They need a plunger, so they use their eyes. There is a powerful muscle called the retractor Bulbi. When the frog triggers a swallow, this muscle contracts violently. It pulls the entire eyeball straight down into the skull. If you watch a frog eat in slow motion, you will see its eyes disappear. They sink down through the roof of the mouth and physically push the food down the throat. The eyelids close tight to protect the eye during this process. The eyeball essentially becomes a hammer, ramming the prey into the stomach. This is why frogs always blink when they eat. They aren't just blinking, they are using their visual organs as part of their digestive system. It is a violent, efficient, and somewhat terrifying use of anatomy. It also explains why the eyes are so large relative to the head. Bigger eyes mean a bigger plunger, which allows them to swallow bigger prey. This dual functionality is a perfect example of evolutionary economy. Why build a new muscle system for swallowing when you have two perfectly good heavy objects sitting right above your mouth? So, let's recap what we are looking at here. We have an eye that sits on a turret for a 360-degree view. It has a windshield wiper that allows for underwater vision. It focuses like a camera lens by moving back and forth. It has a retina that acts as a computer, filtering out reality to highlight only food and danger. It can see color in the dark thanks to special rods and a biological mirror. And finally, it doubles as a mechanical tool to force food down the throat. The frog's eye is not just an organ of sight, it is a survival machine. It is specialized in a way that makes our own eyes seem almost boring by comparison. We often look at amphibians as simple, primitive creatures. But when you look into the golden eye of a frog, you are looking at millions of years of refinement. You are looking at a biological design that has conquered the water, the land, and the night. So the next time you see a frog sitting motionless on a lily pad, remember this: it isn't just staring into space. It is processing a world of motion and color that you can't see. And it is waiting for the perfect moment to turn those eyes into a weapon. Nature is rarely simple, and it is almost never what it appears to be on the surface. The frog's eye is proof that sometimes, to understand how an animal lives, you have to look at how it sees, and in the frog's case, how it swallows. If you found this deep dive into anatomy fascinating, there is so much more to uncover about the hidden engineering of the animal kingdom. I want to take you inside the mechanics of other creatures that we take for granted. But for now, I'm curious. Would you trade your high-resolution human vision for the night sight and motion detection of a frog? Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching.